And I would just train that way and shoot these videos, and Ronnie would do his videos, but that would really that would give a lot of people the insight. And I remember, guys, when I would do these videos, and I don't know if anyone's ever purchased a Jay Cutler DVD or seen it, right? I remember the first week, I would launch this and I would have all these people at my house sending out videos, because I was handwriting them. And I'd get fans from all over the world. I don't know where I had to put it up on the website or whatever, because this is prior to any Instagram or any of that stuff. And man, I'd sell 50 grand or 100 grand of videos that first week. It was just crazy. So I always got excited about the video launch, because we sold them for $40 a piece. And I knew that was people wanted to see the inside of what really went on, so it showed me eating and all this other stuff. But I was doing those all the way through, and I learned those early on. That was kind of the marketing thing too, and I ended up doing the t-shirt designs. I sold Jay Cutler t-shirts. I remember when I started with one t-shirt and one 8x10 photo back when I was 22. I had my first little feature in a magazine, and I put my P.O. box in there, and people would handwrite me letters. I'd get people from jail, fans from around the world. They'd write me letters, inspirational stuff, and I would handwrite letters back to every person, because they took the time to write to me. And I would send them a little thing, say, hey, if you want anything autographed or something like Jay Cutler, t-shirt or whatever, here's my thing. And it would be $20 t-shirt, send check and money order, And people would send me checks, and I'd mail out an 8x10. That's how I early financed my stuff, because mail order was big back then. The internet was really just kind of starting off, but we didn't have you couldn't buy stuff online, no ebooks, anything like that. So, that's how I early financed everything. But, for me, with that whole era, and having guys come up behind me, in the competition scene, I heard everyone, the Dexters, Gustavo Bedells, the Gunther Schlierkamps. Gunther, beat Ronnie at the short string, whatever it was, 2003, and then they touted him as the next Mr. Olympia, and we were all traveling together, and it was there was a lot of good camaraderie then. I don't think it's the same now. I think it's kind of changed a lot. Bodybuilding's definitely different. I think the Olympia excitement's not there as much, and I felt that with Kai Green gone, it kind of gave it more lackluster. Not that there's not great guys. I think Big Rami's great. I think William Bonnick's great. There's a lot of guys that are contention to challenge Phil this year, but I really think Phil's going to win 8 this year. That's my opinion before somebody even asked that. He's been doing it for a long time, and I think that he's at the best opportunity to win it. There are a lot of front runners, a lot of new talent coming up. I think anywhere from 3rd, 4th on is wide open for a lot of new guys. But I just feel the guys are kind of hiding a little bit. When Ronnie and I were doing it, the magazines were really kind of building it around us, but at the same time, people talked about it a lot more. There was a lot more discussion about it. People, I think, followed it greater. There's new divisions now, so it's taking away from the men's bodybuilding. Because remember, when I started, it was men's and women's bodybuilding only. There were no other divisions that really you could compete in. Which I think I'm not against the physique or classic or the women's side either. I think it's awesome that there's opportunity for everyone, height to weight ratios, to compete now. As a promoter, I love to see that. But I think it's taken away from male bodybuilding some. I think the younger generation doesn't want to go in and necessarily be a bodybuilder. Listen, I don't know if I necessarily would either, because you had to be a monster. I won the title at 33, Phil won at 30, Ronnie Coleman won at 34. Does a kid really want to wait until they're in their 30s to break through and actually win the biggest title? It takes a long time to develop that dense muscle. And listen, anyone can be big, but to gain that front to back thickness is a lot of training and a lot of time in the gym. And my workouts would last an hour, hour and a half maybe for legs or back if I was doing those 30 set days. But literally nowadays, I'm in the gym, I'm out of the gym in 30, 40 minutes. And that's even pushing it sometimes. I can get a body part done in 30 minutes. I talk about those rest times. I don't train with the same intensity that I did. I don't push any crazy weights. It's more just of maintenance, and I'm trying to build more of a leaner, athletic body. I do cardio every day. When I was training for shows off season, I suggested no cardio whatsoever because I stayed relatively lean, and I think cardio would be great for someone who's trying to put on size that doesn't have the appetite. That's when I would suggest, okay, add some cardio in because it will help you with your metabolism. Training for shows, I did shows where I did no cardio. I did cardio once or twice a day. What I found most beneficial for me doing cardio first thing in the morning, empty stomach for 30, 40 minutes, preferably stair mill, treadmill, whatever. I walk outside now, but I think the step mill is, if you're a bodybuilder or trying to really get your glutes tight, I think the step mill is really good for that. Really squeeze and everything, okay? Some people like to do bike work. I'm not against that either, but I think when I came back in '09, that was the first time I ever worked on a stair mill, and it really helped with my conditioning from the lower body, from the back. So I always suggest cardio first thing in the morning or after the weight training session. Okay, so I always do my first morning session fasted, and then I would do my cardio later at night before I went to bed. Sometimes I would train twice a day. I think ideally, if you're competitive and you're able to fit it into your routine, splitting body parts and training 2 body parts a day is always great. Hitting the metabolism twice. You're going to get more body fat, burning more body fat, and better metabolism by training twice a day than you are just doing cardio twice a day. So I always suggest to everyone, if you can do split routines, try to do that. And that way you can really focus, number one, on body parts, but number two, have the faster metabolism. Because remember, when you're on the treadmill or bike or whatever, right, we read what it says. It says, I burn 400 or 500 calories. It's not about how many calories you're actually burning, it's about boosting the metabolism so you can continue to eat and continue to have your body work better like a machine. So that's what I always tell everyone is like, don't think, because listen, I'm 290 and I'm on a step mill, and it says you burn 500 calories. Trust me, it's a lot more than that when, another person might be, a lot less than me, like, even 200 pounds. Like, it really depends, like, what your metabolism is. It's not going to tell you exactly what. So what I tell everyone is just, if you have at least some sort of cardio in your routine, you're trying to get leaner, make sure the diet obviously is in check. Your 3 biggest meals of the day. First meal of the day, meal before and after training. Those are your 3 most important meals of the day. I always suggest you should eat every 3 hours, and average person should eat 5 or 6 portion meals a day. At my peak, I was eating 7 meals a day. Right now, I eat about 5, okay? But I usually spaced my meals every 2.5 hours in order to get those 7 meals. And I wasn't hungry for any of those meals besides 3 meals. So I force-fed myself 4 out of my 7 meals a day. And that was by clock. And you say, well, how did you do that? I had to do what I had to do to be able to be, a 300-pound off-season bodybuilder, and of course get ready for shows and be at my best. It would take me an hour sometimes to eat meals. I ate sometimes 5 pounds of meat a day and 1,000 grams of carbohydrates a day. I was a huge carbohydrate dieter. So some of these guys that diet on no carbs, and we do these carb cycling things where some days we eat more or less. Usually on my back and leg days or my higher calorie days. I was a guy that my low carb day was 400 grams of carbs a day. Okay. And I think it's because of the volume I did, the activity levels. I just had a faster metabolism, so I was able to do it that way. Not for everyone, but my protein was never super high. I ate at least 1 gram per pound of body weight, okay? So I went by, since I was relatively lean, they say your lean body mass is how you should judge on what you take in. So if I weighed 300, I ate 300 grams of protein a day. So my protein wasn't super high, but my carbohydrates tended to be higher. Okay, I would take in at least 3 grams of carbs per pound of body weight when I was really trying to put on mass. Carbs are important, especially around the training. I always suggest first thing in the morning, I still eat the same breakfast today as I did when I was winning Mr. Olympia contest, even though I'm a fraction of what I was. I'm still very hungry when I wake up in the morning, but I still have my egg whites, a couple whole eggs, and 2 slices of Ezekiel bread and some oatmeal. I even had this at the hotel, obviously not exactly like that, but pretty much egg whites and whole eggs or whatever. But my diet has always been in check. I do have food prep in the States that I do, but that's the thing I continue to even do, being off the stage, is having good portionate meals each day. And that's how I've been able to maintain some of my size. Even though I know, kind of tell people I don't want to be as big. And I've learned a lot of things. I learned how, the transition out. I've seen a lot of guys retire and they don't look the same, right? You see a lot of guys quit and shrink back down, or they put on body fat or whatever else. I think if you keep that fitness lifestyle, it's much easier. For me, I wanted to be very successful in the business, and not necessarily, I never thought, okay, I'd be a 4-time Mr. Olympia winner or a 3-time Arnold champ or whatever. That was just a blessing on a career that I said, listen, if I can ever make enough money to be able to afford my chicken breasts and go to the gym. Because I'll tell you, I talked about in the beginning, I was broke. I remember scrounging up change to drive my piece of shit truck to the gym because I didn't care. I just wanted to get to the gym and train. And I remember running out of gas so many times. And this is back in 92. So I was 19. And gas in the States, I know it's different here, but gas was 99 cents a gallon. So I would scrounge up $2. So I'd put two gallons of gas in my truck. And often I'd be like, man, I may run out of gas, but I didn't care because I was getting to the gym, right? At the time, I'd wear my tights. I'd actually steal my sister